I think I know what's going on. Oh, and it just automatically turned on. Okay, so I'm live. Hi, guys. Okay. I know what happened. So I had the audio from my webcam on, the audio from my mic, and then also I had that my headphones, whatever it hears, you would hear what's going on. So that's why it was like echoing and fucking dog shit. So I figured it out. Yeah. Okay, now it's good. Okay, so rough start. How do I? Okay. So, first awkward minute of the live. Probably end up fucking deleting this bitch after we do it. Just doing it to have some nice conversations with people. I'm dog shit at fucking... Can I just start it again? Stream's current bitrate. Guys, I'm just fucking this up. Apparently the bitrate's garbage too. I see. How did this stuff not get saved? Is it alright now? I think I fixed everything. Let me know if I did not. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. As I was saying, when my shit was echoing and you couldn't hear me, this week has been about the day game course. Meet Girls Everywhere released it yesterday. It's going right now. Highly suggest that you check it out. Launch is going swell. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the course if you picked it up. If you haven't, there's a link in the description where you can pick it up. Day game's the best. I've been posting videos all fucking week. You probably are tired of it about why day game's awesome. So I've probably beaten that horse to death. It's the easiest way to pull. Exactly. Day game is the easiest way to pull, in my opinion. I agree with you. It's great. So I'm just here to talk to you guys. We'll maybe have a little fun, answer some questions. Don't really have anything pre-planned. I'm kind of just gonna answer your questions. We'll see what happens. Haven't done one in a while, except for the Alex interview. I did, but yeah, of course it's Q&A. Ask what you want. That's why I'm here. I don't really have anything pre-planned. I'm not gonna lecture you guys. Probably should be more professional than that. But, fuck it. I even scheduled this. I even put it on there earlier in the day so you guys would know. And I'm horribly planned for it. Alright, let's just go for it. How often do I see her? I don't want to catch feelings. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with necessarily catching feelings, but I'm guessing this is well, why don't you want to catch feelings? Is it for a girl that you for sure only want to smash? That's it? You don't really see anything else coming from it? Or are you just kind of in that period of your life where you don't want a relationship? You know, give a little bit more detail. That's the biggest thing with questions, is give me a little more detail. Like, take a second to write it up. But just the off the cuff, if you don't want to catch feelings, the rule that we come up with is don't see her more than 6 times a month. So what that basically says is 1 time a week, except for 2 of the weeks you can kind of double up. Like when you first fuck a girl, you want to see her a couple times. The goal is to fuck her 3 like separate occasions. Obviously go more rounds if you can. The more sex the better. But you want to have 3 separate hangouts where you fuck, and then a girl's kind of locked in. It's a strange pattern, but it's for real. Because I've known girls who have only fucked I fucked them once or twice, and then, you know, we would kind of lose touch, and boom. But girls who I fucked 3 times, like when we fucked 3 times, like they became regulars statistically, like way more consistently than girls that you only fucked once or twice. The most common thing is fucking a girl once and she's gone. And that happens when girls were like only down to just fuck that one night. Like they knew you were a fuckboy, they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna suck some dick tonight. And that's it. Or maybe they really liked you, had sex with you, and then they're like, okay, I know this guy's a player based on, you know, how he fucks, how he acts, etc. So you want to fuck her at least 3 separate occasions, but then once you're smashing, not to catch feelings, 6 times a month, maximum. Approaching girls at the gym. Is it cool to go direct? Hey, I wanted to meet you, and wing it. It's usually the way that you go for it. Okay, so approaching girls at the gym it's pretty high risk. You don't want to do it too much. My best advice for the gym would be, especially if you're new, but even if you've been going a while, you kind of gotta change your energy. You don't want to just be like, all right, I'm going to do a gym approach today when you haven't done any socializing at all. It's kind of the wrong attitude with the gym, because think about the gym. Open, everyone can pretty much see everything. It's well lit. Like I said, there's no like line of sight unless there's like different rooms. That kind of helps. So when you're doing like a stealth mission, but everyone can see everything, and everyone's aware that everyone can see everything. So everyone kind of has their. Like I used to go to the gym high as fuck, like high as balls for the longest time, and like my anxiety like that would come with smoking would be super high in the gym. I don't know why. I think I did it because I could just like zone out and work out. This is when I still smoked. I've been sober for over a year now, but my anxiety would be like through the roof because it's such a anxiety inducing environment for me until like you get really locked in with your workout. So people are going to be very aware that everyone else can see, you know, what they're doing. So an approach is going to be a bit more risky. The approaches that I've done in the gym that have gone well, you can do a lot of like build up. Like if a girl works there, for instance, like you would see her a lot, and it would go from like hellos, just like exchanging eye contact a few times. Then one day you pass by her and you're just like, hey. And then, you know, the next time you pass by her, you're like, hey, how are you? And you build up that familiarity. right? And you can start to do that when you walk into the gym. You know, you give your card or your, you know, pass or whatever. Say, hello, how are you doing today? I'm doing all right. Like, these small things make people feel like, oh, they kind of know me. You can do it with other guys, too. Asking for a bench. You know, it's a really good way to meet people. Hey, man, can you spot me? A bench, a spot. Hey, can you spot me? Yeah, sure. He comes over, da-da-da. You know, maybe you struggle with it and you get a really good rep. He's like, oh, nice rep. You know, and, oh, thanks, man. What's your name, by the way? Oh, I'm Hector, da-da-da. Now you kind of know him, and now you can say hi to him. So the best way I've seen approaches go is when you're in the gym and, like, you see someone you know, and you're like, hey, what's up, hi, and you have, like, a quick conversation, and she sees that, like, you're interacting with someone in the gym. It kind of changes the energy of it, right? So then maybe you pass by her and you say, hey, and then you go to, like, the water fountain, and she happens to go to the water fountain. Maybe you notice her coming when you go to the water fountain, or you go when she's going to kind of, like, time it, and you're waiting for her, and you just say, how's your workout? Make it very indirect. A direct open, you usually only want to do in the gym when she gives you a approach invitation. An approach invitation, like, I've had it when I've been working out, and a girl, like, looks, like, she's just working out, and then she, like, looks back and, like, steals a glance at me. I'm like, okay. And then I wait a couple minutes, and I see it again. It's like, all right, well, you know, if you get two very, like, obvious glances your way, okay, that's good enough. If she, another one, I was at the gym, I remember, I was doing tricep extensions or pull downs, whatever the fuck you call them, and there was this really cute girl over here. And I remember I finished my reps, and I stood there, and I'm kind of, like, just glancing around, and kind of, not, like, posturing, like, oh, look at me, but, you know, a little bit. And I see her glance my way, and as soon as I notice she glanced at me through my peripherals, I look at her. We meet, she looks down, and I just hold it. So, you know, you're her, basically, your eye contact. So I see her look, boom, I look, she looks down, and I hold it. She looks back up, and I smile, and she smiles. Boom. Okay. Few seconds later, like 30 seconds later, she finishes that workout, comes to the machine right next to me, does, like, a rep out of nowhere, just, like, grabs the bar and just goes, like, it obviously wasn't part of her fucking set. Then she, like, stands next to me. I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey, how are you? Boom. So, yeah, that would be... Those are a few examples of how to do gym approaches. But direct, you usually only want to do that when, like, she really gives you obvious signals. What's up from France? Hi from France. She doesn't want anything serious. I'm down for a relationship, but she's not. See? You tell me these things, and then it changes the question. That's huge, right? So you said, I don't want to catch feelings. She doesn't want anything serious. I'm down for a relationship, but she's not. You're already on the wrong foot, because you probably told her you're down for a relationship, and she said she's not. So the energy is already kind of angling that way, where she knows you're chasing more than she is. So what you want to do, especially if you do want her for a relationship, it's a bad way to start a relationship, but hey, you know, it's sometimes a thrill to, like, turn things around. So what you would want to do is try and be, like, not cold, but you need to be, like, being playery right now. Like, you need to be a little bit less emotional when you're around her. I guess be cold is just a solid way to say it, even though it could be misinterpreted. Maybe overcorrecting might help, and see if she changes her behavior. Like, if you start becoming less emotional, less huggy, like, you never, it's always the smallest things. Like, it's that, you know, you cuddle with her for an extra 30 seconds. Or, you know, you kiss her a little bit too long. Or, you know, while you're fucking, like, you gaze into her eyes a little bit too romantically. Like, these small things people notice. And if you just cut back on those, and she feels like she's just getting used as a fucking semen dumpster, which is what she said she's down for, even though, like, I'm sure if a girl watches, she'd be like, even if it's just a friends and benefits, I want a little bit of feelings. It's like, okay. Like, once you say a little bit, it's a very slippery slope to become a lot very quickly. because you're dealing with sex. It's so fucking emotional inherently. Like, even for men, it's by nature more unemotional, but for many reasons with men in these days, it's more emotional. Anyways, we can go on that topic for a fucking dick long time. You want to just cut out these small behaviors that you're doing. Kind of just be colder around her. And yeah, see her 6 times a month maximum. You also want to make sure she's inviting you to come over at least every time you go for it, she goes for it. Like, you ask her to hang out, she asks you to hang out. But at least once every 2. Because as the guy, sometimes, until she's really locked down, like, you're still going to have to be reaching out to get her to come over. Because she doesn't, she doesn't want to look like a hoe. She doesn't want to look thirsty. Okay, I have a question. How can I get over fear of people watching, hearing me approach a girl? It stops me a lot when there's people around. Yeah, so one trick, even if you can't get out of the, like, people are watching, okay, fine, people are watching. So what you can do is, I do this little trick where I'm running up to girls, and I talk about this in the course. Meet Girls Everywhere, which is in the description below. You should check it out. Where you jog up to her, and then as you're jogging up to her, you look around like you're looking for something. And just pretend like you're looking for, and I'll look at my phone, act like I'm, on Google Maps or something. And interestingly enough, like, I can see people, like, maybe looking my way as I'm jogging, because they're like, why is the guy jogging? In, like, nice clothes, not workout clothes. And I'll, like, look around like I'm lost, and I can see them turn away. Because they're just like, oh, he must be, like, looking for something. Or what you can do is, as you're running towards her, you can kind of, like, trick yourself and say, oh, yeah, I know her. Or, like, she looks familiar. And it changes the vibe as you approach her. Like, you just have this, like, mentality, like, if this goes horribly and everyone looks at me, I'm just going to pretend that, oh, she looks like someone that, I thought I knew. And these little games you can play with yourself, they will appear to other people. It'll change the way you appear. But it'll also help with the anxiety. But also, if you just want to get over it, like, fundamentally, most people would love to be able to approach girls. They would die to be able to do that. They would really, really love it. Crazy normal scale. I seem to be only stimulated by crazies, or at least the emotional up and downs, but on the other hand, I know it's bad for me. What now? Yeah, you like the toxic bitches. I understand. They can be fun. They're much more skilled, have various interests that make them cool. Yeah. Girls being more normal, that's right. More predictable with the ups and downs, man, is bad. Hector, help me. I have a normal girlfriend and already missed that. My super crazy ex. Right, so now you understand the plight of women who date the nice guy, but then miss their bad boy ex-boyfriends, right? Because it was interesting. So that is a fundamental problem on 2 levels. Like, if you wanna get rid of all the, like, icing and layers that are part of that problem, the 2 things there is that you crave stimulation, like, on a base level, not even just on relationships, like, you crave stimulation. And 2 is that you haven't yet reached a level of self-esteem where you find crazy behavior disgusting. Like, it should appear to you disgusting that women act like bitches, or they're crazy and manipulative, and that the toxic side of it, right? Not the positive side, because I get it. Sometimes crazy girls can also they're just really charismatic, they're fun, they're interesting. I'm talking about the toxic side. You need to be disgusted by it. So as soon as you see the lows, you'd be like, oh my God, this is horrible, right? You need to develop and it's pretty much just recognizing it's bad for you, but also training your mind to become disgusted with it. So next time you see that behavior in the media, in a movie, like, Or in real life, you see another guy and his fucking girlfriend. Like, you should be like, ooh. And it'll create, like, a natural reaction for you next time you see disgusting behavior. And it'll be like... Because I think about my crazy exes. And, oh my God, like, I want to fucking throw up when I think about it. You know, it's not enticing at all. Now, the positive sides of craziness is coming from the first thing that I mentioned, which is your problem with needing stimulation. You are just addicted to stimulation. You have to be okay with being bored. You have to be okay with stability. You have to be okay with boring. And honestly, what I found once I found like a really healthy partner was that my sex with her is better. I can make the sex as like kinky and like me being super dominant and like putting her on a leash and slapping her around and fucking spit on her and calling her a whore. I can have the craziest sex with her. And she'll unleash that inner whore, like just as much or even more than those other girls. I had to train her, you know, but it felt even hotter that I did. Like I unleashed her, you know. These other girls were just whores in the beginning. But once I had that crazy sex, everything else was like, I mean, I have a nice conversation with her. She's really nice to talk to. You know, maybe she doesn't have quite those fundamentals of like that more outgoing crazy bitch, but it's still just a stimulating of a conversation. I'm not as drawn to stimulation, like, because I just have trained myself to look at those weird interactions and with weird women. While they could be interesting, I've trained myself to see that they were disgusting, kind of how I mentioned before, and that I could see long term that the fun, interesting, positive, charismatic sides of these crazy women, almost like I can see through it. Like, I could, like, as they're being normal and not being toxic, but just being charismatic, I can see in their fucking eyes, like, that desperation for validation from daddy. Like, it's fucked up, but I could see it. Like, when people try too hard to put on the show and be interesting, it's like, I know you're acting. Like, it's such a weird, like, I can see the mask that you're wearing. It's interesting. So you have to train yourself to see the long term, even in the moment when it's nice and positive. If that makes sense. Consultation. Let me... I'm actually doing a lot of consultations this week because of people who are buying the product. I think that should work. Check out that link. And you can book a 10-minute call with me. That one's usually only for the guys who are buying the course, the Meet Girls Everywhere Day Game course, and then they want to do coaching. But you can use that and we can talk. Should you ever bring up the what are we question? No. No. As the man, you shouldn't know. What do you think about Jordan Peterson's relationship advices? Do you think Jordan is a player? So he's against... I've listened to a lot of his shit. He said, I remember in a podcast, I don't remember specifically where it was. It might have been Joe Rogan. He's talked about it multiple times, but I think it was on Joe Rogan that I'm thinking of. He was asked, because he said, it is definitely something of value to be a high value guy that has 1,000 options, but you should choose one. Is basically what he said. He said so. It's a remarkable achievement to reach that level of attractiveness for whatever reason that a bunch of women want to be with you. He said, but you should pick one. And his argument, he said, I only have one reason for that, and that's the children. So then you could say, well, I don't want to have kids. But then I guess his argument would be societally it creates a bad environment where a bunch of dudes are being players, which is affecting... It does affect... It's a very deep conversation, and I think he has valid points. But if you are going to decide to have children, yeah, of course you need to, you can't be too much of a player because you got to be focusing on your family and providing for your family, and too many broken families exist because of men and women being promiscuous. That word always trips me up. I think he's got some good advice, but he's only against being a player, he said, I remember specifically, because of children. It just fucks things up when, the husband's, kind of just playing around but then knocks up a girl. Or the woman is with a guy, has a kid, but she's, too promiscuous and always wants to be going out and partying when she's a single, or not a single mom, but, married and remembers her crazy days and da-da-da. So being promiscuous can lead to these bad habits in these people who are going to be parents, and then results in broken homes, and then, yeah. Problem I commonly run into is during day game when the female stranger gives me blatant approach invitations, but because it's at a location where people I know watching me. Citizen Bidet? One second, I just saw your question. It didn't show up. You said you had a question about approaching without a shape, but it didn't show up. But I'll answer it after this. Okay, so a problem I commonly run into is during day games when the female stranger gives me a blatant approach invitation, but because it's at a location where people I know are watching. For example, a cafe I frequent, my place of work. I have to play it cool. The kind of girl who threw me approach invitation then goes to the auto rejection. Any suggestion on how to overcome this? Maybe you can get a place next to her. Like you get your coffee, you see her give an approach invitation. What you do is you walk to the table next to her, and as you're sitting down, you say hello or good morning, and then you see her reaction. She says hello. Then you sit down, you kind of get comfortable for a second, and you say, how's your coffee? Or how's your day going? Very incidental conversation, just you're being friendly instead of approaching. Then you see if it sparks. And if she gave you an approach invitation, there's a 95% chance it should. Unless you totally fuck it up and, act like a weirdo. So you adapt to the environment. Your place of work. Again, incidental, I don't know where you work. Let's say, I don't know, you work in an office and, some lady from a different building has to come bring a message for someone in your building. And she's like, hi, I'm looking for... And then you're like, oh, I think he's over there. And she goes, oh, thanks. And then, you see, that interest. And as she's, going, you could just say, how's your day? You could say, is it a crazy day at work today? You do that one extra little question that tests, are you might be having to talk to me for a legitimate reason. But is there maybe more to this? That one extra question of just, hey, how's your day going? You do the necessary interaction, and then you add one more question there, and if you see she's very interested in talking, then okay, it's not just about our courtesy interaction or our normal interaction. There's something more to this. So you don't necessarily have to do an approach. When you're in those environments, you need to adapt to your environment. Do you think that sleeping with too many women can make you cynical? Yeah, for sure. For sure. There are downsides to hedonism. You know, I'm not just going to sell you that being a big pimp player is going to, you know, fix every problem. It's going to bring new problems. Definitely brings better problems. My experience. But even the desire to sleep with a lot of women is not a very common one. Like, it's very interesting. I think a lot of guys think that they want to fuck a lot of girls, and they'll have that sexual desire to do it. One second, guys. Yeah, you guys are saying, like, you missed my question earlier, but some of them aren't showing up. So if I miss it, like, it's because it didn't show up. Like, the Lake Count one didn't show up. And then that other one, Citizen Bidet. Oh, you retracted it. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was gonna answer it. What the fuck did you say? I forgot. It was shit, I forgot, man. Write it again. But yeah, if I don't answer something and I'm going in order, just write it again, because it didn't show up. But yeah, sleeping with too many women can make you sick. Yeah. So basically what I was saying is a lot of guys think they want to fuck a lot of girls, but they don't. Like, the desire to really fuck with a lot of women, like, you gotta have a special personality. And not a lot of... Even the guys who I know who, like, they date more than average, they're still only, like, sleeping with, like, a handful of girls a year. And then the guys I know who are, like, monsters, or they want to be, you know, like, fucking animals, they're at least trying to fuck, like, 20 a year or 10. Maybe they don't end up doing it, but they're trying. You know, they have just they're wired differently. Sex drive, trauma, you know, there's a lot of different things that can cause it. But it can make you cynical if you fuck, especially, a lot of the wrong women. Like, if you're mainly fucking girls from night game or like party social circle environments, yeah, you're probably gonna get a pretty negative view of women. Like, you're gonna see a lot of weird behavior, and you're gonna think all women are like that. How straightforward do you think you should be when talking and showing your intentions? I feel like someone would get turned off by the missing mystery. Not in the long run, of course, yeah. You can't just always keep up the mystery thing. It just gets annoying. The whole mystery question has always been interesting to me. It's always been... I've always found it kind of silly from an intellectual perspective. Like, I couldn't even begin to tell you all of my life experiences, even if we talked for 10 hours straight. So even if I was upfront with you, there would still be so much more to me, right? And I can be really direct with women, and then they would still think I was mysterious too. So what I found out was that mystery... The question of, am I showing too much interest or too little interest? It's not about mystery. It's about just purely the balance of interest. Now, when women are saying, oh, I'm not sure if he likes me or not, I could watch it from the outside and go, holy shit, it's fucking obvious. And he could even, and here's what even complicates it, complicates it even more, is sometimes I've been like uber fucking obvious with women, and still afterwards they're like, I remember one chick, I took her fucking virginity and we were cuddling after, and we'd known each other for a while. Like, we'd been friends in social circle for a while, and then we had a class together, and then we made out one time. It was a theater class. It's in my college book, by the way. You know what I'm talking about. And she ends up coming over one night. It's a weird story, but I take her virginity, and then we're just like cuddling together. And I think she just like asked me, like, do you like me? I was like, yeah, no, you're cool. And you're cute. Like, but you're interesting. And she's like, okay. She's like, you took my virginity, but I don't know. I just like, I'm not sure if you like me or not. And I'm just like, I mean, but from her perspective, it was like, you're such a player that, like, I don't know if your feelings are real. Long way of saying that, right? So what I'm trying to get at is, like, the whole mystery thing. It's not about what you think it's about. You can be mysterious even if you're being super obvious and blunt with women. But you can tell there's something deeper to you, right? So that confounds me of how to actually show, like, the mystery just means there's more going on than what I think. Something that's very boring and, like, there's not a lot to it can be mysterious. And something that's super boring and not a lot to it can have zero mystery. Something that is very upfront and in your face can have zero mystery, or it can have a lot. So the amount of effort and interest you're showing, to me in my experience, isn't actually related too much. I mean, to a certain extent, of course it is. But it isn't totally correlated with how much interest you show. I know that doesn't help your question too much, but maybe it'll make you think deeper about it. Okay. Citizen Bidet, you gotta put your question. Again, you deleted it. Traveling to Greece, on my way to uni soon. Whew. Coming out of a country where PDAs are frowned upon. Noah Manji. Public displays of affection, so you're either in the Middle East or Southeast Asia. I'm guessing, like, Manji, Noah Manji. You know, are you, like, Indian or, like, no, your name's too short for Sri Lankan. What? How do you keep track of do you keep track of lay count? I had a list up until 85, and then I just stopped counting. And I would, like, roughly, every once in a while, just be like, oh, what am I at? I think I'm roughly around 130. Roughly. Maybe give or take a couple. Hey, Bobby, I'm in high school. Do you have any relationship advice when she has a strict parents but wants to keep it interesting? Is she willing to sneak out? Relationship advice. It's not a relationship unless you're, like, I know you're in high school, so it's different. You gotta give me some more detail here. Have you fucked? Have you done anything? You can do, like, Skype sessions where you guys, like, you know. Tips for doing it for the first time. Smile. Have fun. You may think that's a stupid advice, but I've heard from one girl I remember in college. She's like, you know, you actually enjoy sex. It's like, yeah. She's like, when I fucked this other guy, he was, like, super serious. She's like, you're actually, like, you're smiling and enjoy it. Like, I can tell you enjoy it, and it really makes it more, like, more lighthearted. Because you're probably not going to be good, right? So teaching you any, like, techniques. Plus the techniques it's kind of hard to, like, it's rhythm, you know. But advanced, like, sexual, like, techniques sounds like a fucking ninjutsu. Like, you gotta know, like, you gotta be able to, like, move with the girls. Like, the smallest, like, changes in how you move, like, instead of thrusting like this, you, like, thrust a little bit with, like, an angle and a little bit slower. Like, that shit changes sex, you know. So you're not gonna know how to do any of that. That comes when you've had sex, you know, a metric dick ton of times. But have fun, like, enjoy, like be excited to be doing it, you know. And it's okay if you come quickly. Like, dude, like, I'm giving you tips your first time. It's just, like, just have fun with it. Are you planning to settle down once? Can you imagine yourself being restricted, disciplined, boring-ish daddy who provides for the family and goes to boring vacations? Yeah, I can see myself. I would never be boring. And here's the thing. I see, like, being, like, a dad and, like, being a husband. I would still, like, you would treat your wife like you would fuck her like a whore, you know? So there would always be that mischievous, like, sexual energy between you two, right? So it would never really get boring. But in terms of, like, the lifestyle of, like, not going out and fucking... Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of, like, in it now. Chasing a bunch of pussy, like, doesn't get me off in the same ways as it used to. Could be a phase. Maybe down the road I change my mind, but now I'm cool with, like, being, like, a boring old dude sitting home and working and just playing video games and spending time with a wife. Seems okay to me. As long as you have good relationship game and you're always fucking your girl right, that's the biggest thing. It's like, a lot of guys, what happens is they get in that mode and then they stop. Because I know couples who, like, you know, good father, a guy who, like, provides good lifestyle, but, like, I can tell he's not fucking this bitch right. You gotta keep treating your girl like you love her, respect her, care about her. Oh yeah, of course, dude. Like, that's super fucking important. Like, relationships are way more deep and complex. But, like, at the end of the day, if you're not smashing your girl's pussy, like, into the ground, you gotta, like, always keep that sexual tension and passion. Divorce rates are 53% in the U.S., 80% of which is initiated by women. Well, I don't live in the U.S., so I don't have to deal with those laws. If I was in America, yeah. I don't know if I'd be married in America. But here's the thing, and this is what the Manosphere and Red Pill maybe doesn't. If you're, like, a cool dude and a high-value dude, and what you say is, oh, look at all these celebrities. Like, no, dude, they're dating, like, horrible women. Like, just because she's hot... Like, she's horrible. Like, no, they're not picking good women. If you have a divorce with a woman, like, and she still, like, cares about you and respects you because, you know, there was problems, but, like, you fucked her right and you were a tough dude, like, she won't be able to manhandle you in court as much as you think she would because she wouldn't even have the desire to go after you so hard. If women truly at some point really loved you and you were a high-value guy... And don't talk to me about celebrities and shit. I don't care. They're horrible. None of them have game. They may have game for pickup, but not relationships. It wouldn't be so bad. But, you know, there's always the risk. You know, so I don't know if I get married in the U.S., but I'm not in the U.S. So it's not a fucking worry for me. Too much philosophy, but thanks. Question B, would you say is accepted and expected body count for a guy? Expected body count? I don't know. I think if you hit 30, you should at least have a dozen. I think that would be like, you tried a few. You know, you should be above the average. I think you should be double the average, and I think the average is like 6. Like, for a lifetime, a guy will fuck, like, 6 girls. And that's and I think that's, like, mean average. I don't think it's the mode. So, like, in statistics, like, the mode is the most common number, where the average is the mean, which is all the numbers, like, divided by how many people. The mathematical average. But the most common number is probably even lower, I would say. Can having abs be a game changer for online dating? Yes. Yes. It was a huge game changer. When I had, like, really good abs for my Tinder. But this was back when Tinder was kind of new. And there was so much more volume. Tinder is so saturated right now. When I had, like, really good abs, like, I got dick tons of fucking matches. How do you treat girls in social circle versus cold approach? Are you less proactive? Are you more friendlier than sexual? When I was all about that fucking social circle party lifestyle, bro, I was flirting with every girl. Like, I would have cool it's not like I was, like, constantly macking on them. Like, I would have cool conversations, like, talk to them, like, get to know them. Like, I would be genuine. But they would always get sexual at some point. Like, I would look at her with, like, bedroom eyes. I'm very touchy. Hugs, like, doing this. comments, compliments. Like, I'm very sexual. But that's just how I would be. I was very proactive. How do you get to know girls before kissing? Because girls can have gingivitis. Dude, I've kissed, like, I don't even know how many girls. I don't have gingivitis. Just kiss girls, dude. What? Looking at the West society, it seems like monogamous relationships are not needed anymore. Do you think this is normal for highly civilized society? Or is it a plain conspiracy? Both. It's normal for civilized societies. It's like these... Go read The Fate of Empires by Sir John Glubb. It's a 25-page little document. Go read it. The Fate of Empires by Sir John Glubb with 2 B's. Glubb. Go read that. And you'll have all your answers. Well, not all of them, but some of them. And you can go read, like, the histories of, like, the Roman Empire. And there's, like, a book... I've never read this. Chase did. Or at least part of it. But it's, like, you know, like a 14, like, book anthology about the history of the Roman Empire. But are there, like, a conspiracy to do this as well? Yeah, I think so as well. But it's just a normal, like, that's just, like, focusing on it. How do you know when you're in love? Will you stop wanting to hook up with other girls? You know you're in love when you fuck other girls, and as soon as you nut, you think about the girl that you like. That's how you know you love a bitch. Like, you fuck some other girl, and like as soon as you nut, you're like, I want to go hang out with my girl. That's how you know for sure. How do you start gaming if you're a newbie? Start doing it. Start doing approaches. If you're asking that question, like, you just need to start going in approaches. Start making friends. If you're like a newbie, like, have you had friends? Like, do you know how to actually basically socialize? If you don't even have basic social skills, you need to, like, go make friends first. Has your understanding... Looks like I should have started this a little bit later in the day, huh? Because the timing. Getting more viewers now. Has your understanding of being in love with a woman changed over time? I mean, the feeling... It becomes more refined, is one way to put it. Like a distilling process. You know, as time goes on, it becomes like you know exactly why you love her. Like, at first, it's just this, like, you can point to a few qualities. But then as time goes on, like, you'll have specific memories that make you go, that's an example of the trait that I like in her. Like, and this actually goes into long distance relationships. So one was like, I would fly her out to see me. So long distance can work, but you have to eventually, within like a year. Within like a year and a half, you need to move together. And you need to be seeing each other. If you can't see each other like once every 2 weeks, you need to see each other, like, let's say, for a whole week. So if you can see her once a month, but it's for a whole week. That's pretty much how much you would see a girl, like, close-ish, give or take a few hangouts. If you were, like, normally dating in a month. So 7 days straight. So you get kind of all the emotions in 1 month in a 1 week period. But I remember I couldn't fly her out 1 month because I was kind of low on money. And this girl took a bus for 21 hours to come see me. 21 hours. Right? So that was something that, like, always, I remembered how much investment this girl would put in for me. Because she liked me that much. It was willing to sit on a fucking bus for 21 hours to come see me. But long distance can work as long as you have fucked first. You can't long distance like that's how you meet. Like, it can work. I'm not saying it can't work. But just you never know what's going to happen. Maybe you're her Skype buddy and she talks to you all the time and then she's like smashing someone close by. Like, you need to at least fuck her like you meet, and then because of like travel or whatever you have to go. But then you see each other, like, you got to see each other at least once a month. And it should be for a longer period of time. I'm sure there's plenty of situations where it's worked out because these two knew each other like to be each other's like soulmates, and you know they didn't see each other for 3-4 months, right? Or like 6 months or a year, but that's rare. You want to still play the game as effectively and efficiently as you can, so you want to fuck her at least first, so you have that, and then you guys have to go long distance. What to do if she says she lost trust in you? Well, why did she lose trust in you? You really need to have more detail here. What did you do? Did you cheat on her? Did she catch you lying? Have you ever used your powers for evil? Well, one would be fucking girls who have boyfriends, so yes. That was evil. What? Maybe not even girls, but like persuasion. I've used my persuasion skills to like win arguments and make people look fucking stupid and embarrass them, which would also be considered evil. And like control situations, but never like to get money or to like. No, a few, but the girls with boyfriend thing, yeah. But like, how much of it was my powers and how much was she was thirsty for dick? You know, my game was obviously important in there, but there are a lot of hobos. Some of the questions I get, there's a lot of hobos. How does that affect cold approach? Maybe go where there's not a lot of hobos. Usually in the nice parts of town, there aren't a lot of hobos. Rich people are pretty good at keeping them out. What would you consider meeting up too much or too little? Are you fucking this girl? I mean, I said earlier, like, if you're fucking her, you don't want to see her, like, more than 6 times a month. Too little? Depends what you want from her. If you just want her as a fuck buddy, like, you need to see her at least every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Maximum, like, a month. If you do want something more from her, then yeah, you gotta be seeing her at least like once a week, maximum once every 2 weeks. Would you say that most guys in the pickup space are not really lovers of women, but lovers of sex? I think that's fair. I wouldn't say a lot of them really love women, like find them like enchanting. It's pretty rare to find a guy who actually like is like dearly in love with women. So being a lover of women, I have some videos on my channel about that because I wanted to be clear about that. But the defining factor of a lover of women is he actually wants to like help women, but not in like a white knighty way, but like in a I want to give you pleasure, and like when you're around me, I want you to feel like it's an escape from the world, and that like I'm gonna make you smile and give you experiences that no one else can, and I want to be that experience and that memory that you'll have for the rest of your life. I want to leave you better than I found you. That's like the fundamental thing of being a lover of women. And it's just that like he just finds women, but the desire to do that comes from the like core like fascination with women. Like he finds women fascinating. Like they're interesting. He wants to know what makes them tick. It's like it's like an art for him. It's a physicist loves reality. Like why does he study the laws of nature so deeply? You know, because he finds it fascinating. Why does an artist try to express the world as he wants it or sees it? Why does a writer like try to create worlds? Because he's fascinated by them. A lover of women is fascinated by women. How they look, how they smell, how they touch, how they think, how they do. Is being intriguing similar to being the prize? It's one way to be the prize. I mean, being a prize can be, there's so many things that make someone a prize. Their looks, their intellect, their achievements, their charisma, their sense of humor. What makes them intriguing? Yeah, sure. It's one example. Can you make a video explaining why some reasons why women file fake rape reports? I've thought about it a couple times. I don't know if it's the right time, though. I think in a couple of years, maybe it'll die. Like, as an issue, it might become more acceptable to talk about it. Because I want to talk about it, and it has, really has an effect. But it doesn't feel like the right time yet. It's starting to become more okay to talk about it. But there's still that underlying... There's just really no reason to bring that level of scrutiny to paint a target on our back for no reason. Because when you talk about that stuff, it just has the vibe right now that somehow you're an apologist for rape. If you talk about why women falsely accuse, it's just stupid, the assumptions that come behind you talking about it. But basically, some reasons why. She has a boyfriend and wants to give an excuse for her, having cheated. She's angry at the guy. She reacts, regrets. Fucking words, bro. Regrets having done it with him. Maybe someone found out. Maybe he wasn't, X or Y. Maybe she had a boyfriend. Maybe attention. People do weird ass things for attention. Why would falsely accusing someone of rape? Look, if there's people bad enough in this world to do rape, then that means consequently there's people bad enough in this world to file a false rape claim. Well, what are the motivations for rape? Well, they're stupid. What are the motivations for a false rape allegation? They're also stupid. They don't. It might sound. Who the hell would falsely accuse someone for? Well, who the hell would rape someone? Well, someone would falsely accuse someone of something for really minor reasons. People die every day for the stupidest fucking reasons of, you didn't, give him the right amount of grams in the dime bag, and so, he shot you over it, or, people die all the time. Why would false rape accusations be any different in the sense that people do it for dumbass fucking reasons? But usually it's boyfriend, reputation, get attention. How disgusted are you with the stupidness and naivety of general society, or does it even bother you? Not anymore. I used to, oh my god, I can't believe how blind and sheep-like everyone is, and I don't care anymore. I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem. How can you know exactly why she lost trust? I think it was about the lack of keeping my word commitment to something, so I guess lying would be... So what you have to do is, if a girl lost trust because you're inconsistent, then you have to sit her down and really explain, you know what? I haven't been consistent. But you can't just do it as a reaction to her getting angry. You have to do it, after. Let's say a couple days go by, a week goes by, be like, hey, can we go out for dinner? I want to talk to you about something. Or, hey, can you come over? I want to talk to you. Be like, I've been thinking about it a lot. And I'm not really consistent. And what I want to tell you is, I'm going to definitely, I need to work on it. But I want to explain to you why I'm not consistent. It's not because I don't care about you, just because I have, I'm very ADD. I lose track of things. And explain, make it human for why you do it. And then say, look, I'm going to make some efforts. So, you know what? I'm going to take you out on Thursday. And I'm going to be there on time. And Or, I'm going to start taking out the trash. Whatever it is, whatever situation. But the biggest thing with trust is, once you make a declaration to fix it, you got to stick with it. Because you're only going to get so many, hey, I promise I'm going to change, get out of jail free cards. As your leg count increases, do you find your tastes in women widen? Or do you tend to focus more on a particular type? When I first started fucking girls, I got interested in so many different types of girls. Right? then as I fucked so many different types of girls, it kind of went like this. Right? Like a diamond. So at first I was like, oh my God, I want to fuck everything, And I was interested in so many different types of girls. Then I opened up, or closed, became more very, because I knew what I liked. So I was like, oh my God, so many different girls are hot. What do I like? And then I know what I like. So it went like that. So virgin, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, started to go, oh, okay, I kind of know what I like. How does the texting setup for meeting... One second. I dropped my little toy. Meeting up different from girls gotten from day game and online dating. When you meet a girl from day game, how does it change the texting? Well, I go into that in my course called Meet Girls Everywhere. If you check the description below, there is a link and you can grab the course. It's only available for 3 more days. From my end, 2 days, but on your end, 2.5, 3 days, okay? And then you won't be able to get it for 3 months. So I highly suggest you pick it up. I've talked about 1,000 times why day game is the best way to meet girls, right? It's partly why I'm doing this Q&A. I just want to get people talking, start answering some questions, and then try and point you to this great course that I just released. So I highly suggest that you pick it up if you want to go more into the day game details. It's the only link in the description. Have you ever made any videos talking about MGTOW before? I did. I made one. And I was actually I started it off bad. Right, because when you make a video, what you're supposed to do is the people you're trying to talk to, you have to talk to them in a way they want to be talked to. But I started off the video wrong. And no one listened to the rest of it. Because a bunch of people in the comments were like, rah, 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 rah. And I was like, I addressed that in the video. And I even point out the positives of MGTOW. But they kind of proved my point. Right? They basically just acted like the feminists that they hate. But just the male version of it. And no one listened to it. So the people who I wanted to reach out to, because it's preaching to the choir if I teach my people, the flaws of MGTOW, but I was trying to appeal to actually the MGTOW people. They didn't listen. I said things that they would make a comment, and I'm dude, I literally said that in the video. And that's your, what you think is good. And I said that in the video. But because you just win it, I didn't quite open it right, you see red, and then you just ignore everything else. So I ended up deleting it. Long time no see. Where the fuck have you been? What happened to your IG? Did you not find my new IG? It's in all of my videos now. Check my descriptions. If you're talking about the old Papi Mapuche Instagram that I had 2.5 years ago, that shit got deleted. It got deleted. Yeah. I was at 800 followers and I just got straight up deleted. And I had to rebuild it. Now I'm at 2K. But yeah, check my last video and look in the description below and you'll find my Instagram. But I have a new one. But yeah, if you're talking about my old Instagram, I got deleted 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. It was a stupid situation. Some bitch had a bunch of people report me. I'm on my purpose. I'm really productive and I have very little time and I don't really need female attention. But I realize I slowly lose my skill with females. Start talking to more girls. Being on your grind is great and all that. Well, okay. So if you want my perspective, most of the reason why guys get on a grind is really inherently to get bitches. Deep down. Of course, they would say, no, it's for me. Maybe I'm not saying it's totally it's a spectrum. Things can be multiply motivated. But I would say deep down, a lot of guys do things, even if it's totally solo, they do it deep down to make themselves higher value for women, even if it doesn't look like it. But aside from that theory, start talking to more women. Make time for women. Like, you got to make time for women. Like, you know, if you don't have time to go on dates or like actually spend time with women, it's not like you're going to be getting laid. You can't just like order them like McDonald's unless you're like you have that skill, right? But if you're losing that skill, then you have to do the thing that you're losing the skill in. All right, I'm going to answer a few more, then I'm going to dip. What's the quickest you ever bailed from a date? A couple minutes. Are getting numbers a waste of time? No. Not at all. Unless it's night game. Like, getting numbers from like bars and clubs usually doesn't work out that well. Because usually there was something you could have done better. Hector, my body count is 8. Now I found a good girl. However, I'm scared that I might miss out better opportunities if my skills were better. Would you say every man should hit 30 until he chills? Oh, good question. Because you don't want to miss out, you know? In two ways you don't want to miss out. Like, if you skip on this girl, did you possibly leave behind like a really good girl? Right? But then that's kind of scarcity mentality. Like, you got to have the abundance mentality that you can find someone out there who's just as cool as her, just as good girl as her. If she really is a good girl. It's also another thing. You may be... I've known guys who think girls are girlfriend quality, but they're inexperienced and they're wrong. So you may not even be correct. You may think you are, but you may be missing some signals. But maybe she's a good girl. I don't know, man. It's a hard question. I can't really answer it. Like, you could just get in a relationship for a year, try it out, and if you like can't properly enjoy the relationship because you still feel like you gotta sow more oats and fuck more pussies, then you weren't ready, and that's okay. Yeah, Omar, I made a video about older men approaching younger women just this past week, actually. So go check it out. It's a recent video. All right, boys. I think I'm going to call it. Been going at this for about an hour, 15, 20 minutes. I just wanted to talk to you guys. I haven't done a live in a long time. And I also wanted to promote my course, my day game course. I really would appreciate that you check it out. It's in the description below. It's only available for a couple more days, and then it won't be available for 3 months. It's a great course. I put a lot of work into it, and I hope you enjoy it. Getting good, positive feedback right now, and it would mean a lot to me if you pick it up. But like I said, it'll also help you because day game is the best, and I've been posting videos all week about why day game is the best. So check out Meet Girls Everywhere in the description below. Other than that, it was a pleasure, my dudes. I will see you again soon. I'll probably try to do more live streams soon. And, yeah. Have a good night. Ciao.